$837.33, the cost of a cruise ship that you missed. And you blame Mr. Gaines for that, Mr. Diller. Why?
That is correct, Your Honor. Kevin, first of all, encouraged me to go on this trip with him. He does it every year. I'd never been on a cruise before. Seemed like a good, fun, exciting time. He organized everything, and I paid the money to him. I did purchase the ticket. However, I did not enjoy the cruise, and the reason for me not enjoying the cruise is the fault of Kevin.
And how is that his fault?
On the day the cruise was to embark, which was February 5th of this year, when I was leaving for Long Beach, where the cruise was embarking, I had a tire blowout on the freeway on the 405. I had tried calling my girlfriend so that she could get me to the cruise on time. However, she was unavailable.
What time was the cruise leaving?
5:30 p.m.
Okay, and what time did you leave your house?
1 p.m.
And then you had the tire. But what time was that?
Very shortly after that, about 1:05. I called Kevin and asked if he would be able to take me to the cruise, and I wanted to make sure that he would be able to get me there on time. And he reassured me. He said, yes, I have a couple stops, but I'm going to be able to get you there on time. So after Kevin reassured me that we would be able to make it to the dock on time.
But he said he had a couple stops to make.
He did say he had a couple stops, which did make me uncomfortable. And I even said, well, if you're not sure you'll be able to make it in time, I'd be happy to call an Uber or a taxi. It was really important that I make this cruise. It was my first one. He does it every year, so maybe it wasn't as crucial to him. But he reassured me again and again. He's like, no, I got you. This is going to be fine. So I finally was like, great, come and pick me up.
All right. He picked you up.
He picks me up. We make a couple stops. He had to stop at Target.
What time did he pick you up? Let's start with that.
It took about 20 minutes to get there, so that puts us at about 1:30.
Okay. All right, he made the stops.
He made the stops. One of the stops included a stop at his mother's house, which he said would be quick. It was not quick, and that ended up pushing us back and back and back, and then I'm starting to get uncomfortable that we're not going to make the cruise on time. I recommended that he use an app of mine to navigate to hopefully get to Long Beach on time, which initially he did use, but then he's like, no, I know these streets, and so he stopped following the app and just started going his own way.
Okay, so but when he was following the app, was there a problem?
Oh, no, there was no problems.
And then what happened?
Well, we started getting pushed back, traffic, it's a busy time, it's a Friday, and ultimately we don't make it until the dock until 5:15 p.m., 15 minutes before we needed to be on the ship. And unfortunately, the custom line was extremely long, and by the time we got through customs, we were not able to board the ship. We had missed it.
Then what happened? You went home?
I went home. I was upset.
How'd you get home?
I just took a taxi back home. I didn't want to ride back home with him, obviously. I was very upset. I was really frustrated that he had caused me to miss out on this opportunity that I'd paid for, that I'd paid hard money for. $837 is a lot of money for me, and I was going to miss this trip. So I take a taxi cab home. However, a few days later on Facebook, I see pictures show up that he enjoyed the cruise because evidently he found a way to catch up with the ship and didn't inform me of that. He didn't call me. He didn't text me. Now, I understand I was upset, so maybe he didn't really want to be friendly, but I still paid the money for a room that we were to share together.
Let me hear from you, Mr. Gaines.
He calls me to pick him up because he blew out his tire. I said, okay, I'm going to come get you, but I got a couple things I got to do. So I pick him up, run my errands, no problems. We were on time. After I run my errands or whatever, we get on the 5.
How many errands did you run?
I had a few stops to make. I had to stop and pick up another guy. I had to go by Target and get a couple of things.
Oh, he left that part out. Did he pick up another guy?
Yes, he did, Your Honor.
Okay.
I did leave that out.
Uh-huh.
And I also had to go by my mother's house and drop off some things. You know, my mother detained me for a few minutes, but we were back on the road. We were pressed for time. The app definitely pushed us behind time. We get there. Of course, we're late. It's no parking anywhere. We had to park all the way on the other side and walk to the pier. Once we get to the pier, it's a long line. Everybody's in there. We get there and we get up there and they say, okay, you can't get on.
Okay.
You know, we're late. So this fool just goes off.
What fool?
Well, this gentleman right here.
Yeah, we're not going to do that in the
I'm
courtroom.
sorry. Yeah, I'm not going to call him a fool, but he gets.
You just did.
He called me, yeah, well, you were disrespectful, you know? He was saying stuff about my mama's lemonade and all this other stuff, stopping us, whatever, complaining, making jokes. And then he got mad and left. He got in a taxi and left. So it left me and the other guy there, and we're trying to figure out how, you know, we still want to get on this cruise. I'm like, I got this money invested. So I got on the phone with Carnival. I'm texting my boys, emailing them. We're trying to get, you know, somebody to contact us. We ended up getting on a bus, and we went to Ensenada, and we still had a friend.
You took a bus to Ensenada?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. We took a bus.
So this was a Mexican weekend cruise?
Yeah, we had to get on the bus and get down there. So we get, we have a contact. He was on there, so he's contacting Carnival, and it was a lot of negotiation and stuff. But we were actually able to get on the boat, is what
Where?
I'm saying. We got on the boat in Ensenada.
Oh, so you took a bus from Long Beach to Ensenada?
Yes,
and
ma'am.
then you were able to board the ship?
Yes, ma'am.
And was that the next day?
No, it was about 5 hours later.
Oh, okay.
So we partied the rest of the weekend. We had fun, If
I
he,
did not have
But he
fun.
gave up and went back home.
he gave up. He quit.
Coming up on Justice with Judge. We're back with the case of Joe Diller, who is suing Kevin Gaines for travel expenses.
So he says it's your fault. You made him late.
No, if he would have stuck it out, he would have got on the boat with us. He got all these apps for stuff. He want to take back roads.
Yeah,
I
well,
get
if you
there
would
on
have called
time
me and
every
let me
time.
know that you actually
Why
were,
call
you
you? You
had a
left.
plan.
You left. What
Yeah,
I'ma
it's still
call
my
you
money.
for?
I still paid.
Okay, so did you, wait a minute. So now you're at the ship. You can't get on. You're stuck.
Yes.
So the three of you didn't stand there and say, man, can we figure out a way? You just got angry
Right.
and left?
No, I did not have that discussion with him. As I said,
You just got angry and left.
I was upset, and I mean, everybody there was saying, sorry, you can't get on the ship. I mean, it was pretty bleak from my point of view. Everybody who we were talking to said, sorry, once the thing goes up, you can't get on
So
the
now,
ship.
what part is Mr. Gaines responsible for?
Well, he's responsible for making me late and for still enjoying the weekend. I mean, he could have called me. I still could have turned that
Come
taxi
on,
around.
man.
I still could have made it. He could have contacted me. We had a split room, so half of that room was paid by me. That $800.
Which I enjoyed.
Yes, he did. He's enjoying a suite on a
It's
Carnival
no
cruise on
refund
my
when
dollar.
you pay for the cruise, right? No refund.
No refund.
Okay. Now, Mr. Diller, so was he responsible for the traffic delays?
Those were obviously out of his control. However, when he went away from the app, because the app, it calculates how long it's going to take, and the app
He
had
said
it
he
showing
didn't
up.
go. He went away from the app, but he said he went back routes.
Exactly, and his back routes were not accurate. They didn't get us there any quicker. The app, it calculates and says what time we're going to arrive.
Okay,
And
what
the
time
app-
did the app say you would arrive?
Between 4:30 and 4:45. We would have had
And
another
what
30
time
minutes.
did you arrive?
We arrived shortly after that. Traffic was gridlocked whether we took the streets or the highway. It was nothing. It's Friday.
Well, that's
in
what the
LA.
app does. The app, it has a satellite. It can control traffic densities. It knows how to
You
do
had
that.
money to pay for a cab?
Yes.
So why'd you take a cab there?
Well, because he offered to give me a ride. I would have.
No. He didn't offer. You called and asked him.
Right.
That's
I
a
called-
difference. There's a difference.
Yeah.
You didn't say, let me get a cab. Let me get an Uber. Let me get another alternative.
I did say when he was saying, I'm not sure if I have these other stops. I
No,
did
you didn't
say,
say
like,
that.
I could
Hold on a
take
second.
another route. I'm like, well, if you can't make this, if you don't think you can make it
Okay,
on
so
time.
did you ask him
never
to pull
said
over and
that.
let me out?
No, I did not ask him to pull over and let me out. I figured that would lose, by that time, for me to pull over, get off, try to get another ride.
You know, Mr. Diller, there is no legal, give me the legal theory.
Well,
he
did
for which
confirm
you
that he'd be
claim.
able to get me there.
Oh, come on, because he believed that leaving the valley at 1:30 on a Friday afternoon, I should be able to get to Long Beach by 5 o'clock.
Yes.
And you were leaving at 1 o'clock, and you had a blowout.
But I didn't have any stops.
The man told you in advance, I have stops to make. Did he not?
Yes.
Okay, at that point, your reasoning, he has stops to make. What if these stops delay us? How long are these stops going to take?
Right. And I had those concerns,
Okay,
which
so
is why I
once
said.
once he said, I got stops to make, and you had money for a cab, why you take a cab and say, I ain't got time, so stop it?
Because he reassured me. I went on his word and he said, no, I got this. I do this every year. Don't worry about it. And so I moved forward. I made a decision based off of his confirmation that it was going to work. If he would have been like, I've been like, hey, don't
No.
worry about it. I'll find another way there.
No. You made a decision because that's the choice you made.
But
you
it
took
would have been a lot better chance.
You
Would have
took
been a
a
lot
chan-
better chance.
You took a chance with Mr. Gaines. You had money in your pocket for a cab, which was one of your choices. You had money to call Uber, which was one of your choices. You chose to go with Mr. Gaines. You gambled and lost. It's a terrible thing. Sorry you missed your $837, but there is no legal reason why I should order him to pay you the money. So judgment for the defendant.
Judge MABLEAN has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
That wasn't cool, Kevin. You could have called me back. I really wanted to go on that cruise.
You left. It wasn't my responsibility. I'm sorry.